when you see inflation, you're like, oh my God, people can't make a car, or they can't make a truck, or they can't make whatever it is. That's great for
anything.
Capital. Yeah, literally, food products, every inflationary thing means you can get higher prices, or shortages mean higher returns on capital investment. Not always, but basically always, right? Or at least we need more capacity for these players. So that is a positive tailwind for them on the order side.
Yeah, it's funny. This morning, one of my first tweets, I thought it was funny. Looking at the Fed's own survey. They do a consumer inflation expectation survey. They've been doing it forever. And they do a 1 and a 3 or 4 expectation survey. And the 1 year hit an all-time high. Their own fucking survey hit an all-time high. And these guys peacocking around with their transitory comments, and this guy Deese, who's not part of the Fed, just parroting what Powell's saying. I mean, it's just, I called these guys assholes the other day. Now that I've dropped F-bombs, and I'll call them that again. I mean, that's what I think of people that just lie to your face. I mean, for their own self-interest. I think they're assholes. I mean, I think more people on the earth should call them that. I mean, it's like, tell me on your own data why that is not true. It's like, good Lord. And the number was 5.2%, by the way. It's not like they didn't think it could get to 2, then it got above 2, now it's 5.4. And our whole point was it's going to stick around 5, and that's exactly what consumers expect. So we're using, if you want to chime in here, Steiner, we're using, and we'll have more client calls on this today, we're using a real-time nowcast of what inflation is doing. The Fed took a real-time survey of what people think is happening. They both have the same answer, and the Fed is saying that's not the answer. Like, WTF, Steiner, like, this has got me a little hot.
Yeah, it's been 5.4 now for a couple of months, and obviously we've been focused on the shelter component, but labor pressures are building. So I mean, it's just sort of patently ridiculous, the argument that the Fed puts forward in terms of this one, that inflation is transitory, and 2, that the administration would be suggesting that if you swap this out and you swap that out. I mean, anybody who basically buys anything knows that inflation is running very hot. So I think it's just a question of how long can they go with this sort of widening divergence between sort of their sort of creative narrative and construction of what's happening versus what everybody knows to be true.
All you have to do is listen to the call, too, every day when you hear bottom-up analysis, guys like Van Sciver on the most cyclical and deep cyclical, which lasts long. There's a long tail to the inventory cycle, to the pricing cycle. You're talking about truck pricing yesterday on the pitching Volvo or PACCAR for that matter. It's all the same thing. And my main point to a large institutional investor, one of the largest yesterday, was just that, right, Steiner? I'm like, you're going to be right, but I'm going to make money in the meantime being right. And then I'm going to take your side of it. Like, there's this thing called making money. Like, I mean, if you stayed long inflation now for going on a year and a half, you've absolutely crushed it. And that's why you have you can tell the truth. I mean, because it is the truth, first of all. But secondly, you've made so much money on trending inflation that it's a joke at this point. And so is the commentary by these Fed officials or the whatever that Deese guy's job is.
My objections with those governors are trading their personal accounts like very, very, very actively in things that they also obviously have influence on.
Deese is ex-BlackRock, Kaplan ex-Goldman. It's like, we're all ex-something, but if you're going to do the government job because you're doing it for the people, if you got as much money as those two guys, Deese and Kaplan, ostensibly that's what you're doing. You don't like to use this. I don't know. I'd love to see if Deese was trading, but Kaplan was, and in size, and that's just, it's disgusting. It's terrible.
Hey there, Hedgeye Nation, or if you're not part of Hedgeye Nation, thanks for watching Hedgeye on YouTube. If you haven't already, make sure to click on the button below there. Subscribe to our YouTube page. You can also follow the link in the description to our website to get even more great investing content.